AI is evolving faster than ever, and as Donald Trump has now won the election and is going in to be president of the US going into 2025, is there going to be absolute chaos, or is this going to be a period of time, especially during his presidency, where AI is going to thrive and America potentially could be the world leaders or the world dominating force in the whole sector of AI? Now, this topic with Trump doesn't just affect the US, it affects the whole world. Currently, the US is the biggest economy on the planet, roughly with around $29 to $30 trillion in terms of its GDP. And with Trump coming in, he's already promised to deregulate AI to make the US world leaders in this. He's going to give the military more power, especially with AI technology. And this is going to create more competition, but this is going to also create more innovation in a lot of different areas. And again, this is going to affect the whole world. And then he also has key players going into his administration, especially with Elon Musk. You have other people such as Vivek Ramaswamy and other people like that. And how are people going to take advantage of this? How is the AI landscape going to change, evolve? What is it going to be like? One of the first things Trump is going to do when he comes into office, he's going to deregulate and basically remove the rules that Biden put in place to give the AI companies more rules that they have to abide by to make it more regulated. And reading this now, so Biden's order required companies to report AI safety tests and protect against risks like fraud or biological threats. But with Trump's repeal, it aims to reduce what he calls burdensome regulation. So again, prioritizing faster innovation and less government oversight. So giving the control back to the AI companies. But is this going to, are they going to ethically use this? Are they going to try and get one up on us as the public, the world? How is that going to go? It's going to be very interesting to see how it is. Critics will say that this leaves safety gaps, whilst the proponents of this will say this will innovate and push the US especially to be leaders in AI, especially on a global stage. And as I'm reading some of this is a little bit more detailed, so I'm going to be reading this as I've researched it, because again, I want this to be correct in the information that I'm giving to you. With Trump's administration, he's going to be reviving the Manhattan Project style efforts, so focusing on military AI. So again, you could expect cutting edge advancements in autonomous drones, which again, thinking about that is just... Yeah, don't know how I feel about that. I understand, you can say from a defensive point of view, but just the fact of AI drones flying around the place, interesting. So this push as well could boost national security, but the shift could move resources away from civilian AI applications. So it'll be an interesting one. I mean, have you seen the ones of the AI dogs walking around his Mar-a-Lago estate that are patrolling where he's currently living, I guess, until he moves into the White House? It's very freaky, I won't lie. It is very Terminator style vibes, yeah. And then his vice president, JD Vance, he is a big proponent. He supports open source with AI. He doesn't want the big AI tech companies to have complete dominance in this market, so they can regulate and control it within the companies. So making it open source makes it a more fair playing field and stops them from being the most dominant force. So in one hand, this would empower special companies that are startups, anything like this, to give them, a foothold to actually have a slice of the pie, a slice of the AI market, whatever they go into utilizing AI. But at the same time, this deregulation, how is it going to be? Is it going to be ethical? Is it going to be fair? Or are people going to cheat? If I had to guess, people are going to cheat because they want one up, and at the end of the day, they're worried about their bottom line and they want to have an advantage in this. So, they will take shortcuts, undoubtedly. And then more now on a global scale, because Trump is doing this and he wants the US to be the most dominant force, this is going to create friction in the sense of competition. So competition, even though, it has allies, the US has allies through NATO, Europe, and whoever else it is lined up with on that front. But at the same time, all of those countries, let's not kid ourselves, are going to want the best defense for themselves as well, individually as sovereign states. So they are going to be implicating AI. But if the biggest economy in the world, that being the US, is the number one, that is going to create friction in different ways. Maybe it's going to, infringe on a country's sovereignty or how it governs itself. I don't know, but it opens a big door, and there are many, many, many different angles how that can be approached. And then reading again from here, as I want the information to be correct, Musk's transparency initiatives on X could expose government inefficiencies, while Vivek's legal strategies challenge overreach by government agencies. So their combined influence could radically shape how tech policy unfolds. And it will be an interesting one to see how Trump uses them, how they affect the government, how they affect the people, the citizens of the US, people living there. Is it going to benefit people with their jobs, make them more rich, make them more poor, take jobs away from people, and they're going to be replacing those people with AI? I really don't know. But again, again, you know, Elon recently in the last month released the videos at his event of the robots where people could literally buy them as helpers. There were people, you know, walking, talking to them. It was freaky, and we're at that point.
Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind.
You know, you hear a lot of people talking about AGI. So AGI is artificial generative intelligence. That's where basically, hypothetically, and Sam Altman recently actually came out and said that he thinks by next year it will be out.
What are you excited about in 2025? What's to come?
AGI?
Yeah.
Excited for that.
But maybe he said that just to grab attention, or maybe he thinks that, but you know, people are always playing around with that in the next 2 years, the next year, but it's in the ballpark. So it will have the ability to think like us, potentially outthink us on certain things, but it will be a match for us, and it'll be able to analyze, perform, and I would say be more, it would just be better than us. It would be more efficient than us. You know, when we need to sleep, it won't need to sleep. But then hypothetically above that, you have ASI. ASI is AI that is super intelligent, artificial super intelligence. And this is basically just, here we are, AGI maybe around here, and then, you know, artificial super intelligence is like, you know, Terminator, Skynet sort of stuff and above, where that is by far the most powerful being on the planet. It is, you know, if you want to call it a being, refer to it what you want, but that basically has the ability to, you know, analyze itself. It has the ability to not only analyze itself, but then when it analyzes itself, it can learn, it can replicate, it can make itself better. And again, in my other recent videos, which I've made about Yuval Noah Harari, about Larry Fink and BlackRock, you know, at these big companies where they are intertwined with one another, especially with the World Economic Forum and anyone else like that, their most important thing they think about is their bottom line, is about how much money they're making. How they think about us, how it affects us, let's be real, let's be honest, I doubt they really care about us as much. I don't say this lightly, but I think this will be a very, very, very interesting period of time when Trump comes in, especially with Elon Musk in the fold, you know, Vivek as well. But Elon to me is the dark horse, and he's going to have a lot of power, a lot of sway. And I think Trump's presidency, when we look back on it, I think it's going to be a defining moment for sure. It's going to be the one where we look at where AI really took off. But the question is, how did it take off? Did it just go and make a lot of money in the short term, but the long term it took away a lot of jobs? Or did it put the US back on top as the, you know, the king of AI development? Time will tell. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will this be a revolution? Will this be a disaster? Is this going to be a defining presidency that's going to completely change the AI landscape forever? And if you like more content like this, as outside of making tutorials and talking about real life stuff, business stuff, but how it's also going to affect us in the sense of AI, let me know in the comments down below and I'll make more videos about this. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.